So for the last couple of months I've been working on a fantasy Hearthstone set that is themed to Marvel characters. So I'm just going to go through the set that I've made. I've made about 70 cards and we're just going to go through them. I've uploaded all of these to my Flickr account, so you can click on the link in the description to access them if you just want to see them all in one go. Here we go. Mage is Avengers, the Avengers team, obviously led by Captain America. So the first card here is Captain America. He's got Battle Cry, your other minions gain +1/+1, and he's got Taunt and Divine Shield, which I think is a good representation of his shield. Iron Man, really cool card. He's got Inspire, discover a 1-cost spell. That is kind of to signify that he is a very intelligent man with lots of resources, and he will usually find a way out of sticky situations. And he's also got Charge and Divine Shield. Divine Shield, of course, for his armor, and Charge because he comes flying and rocketing in. Avengers Assemble, put 2 random Avengers from your deck into your hand. Self-explanatory. Hawkeye, Battle Cry, deal 2 damage, so he comes in and he's immediately hitting targets, and when you play another minion, gains Stealth, which is almost like me showing his distraction. So one of his allies has just come into battle and he's found a bush to hide behind. Miss Marvel, when one of your minions dies, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. That's kind of showing her compassionate side and her energy projectiles. And Death Rattle, draw 2 cards. I'll be honest, I'm not sure what that represents. Avengers Mansion, draw 3 cards, put any Avengers drawn onto the battlefield. Very powerful card, and that's why it costs 8. So on to Paladin, which I've chosen to make shield. I thought that their hero power of creating a 1/1 character was probably most relevant to shield, as that is just summoning a shield agent. So Nick Fury is legendary. He's got Charge, Stealth, and at the end of your turn, Nick Fury takes 1 damage and gains Stealth. Basically signifying that he's always going to be around, he's always going to be a pain in your ass, he's going to be difficult to deal with, but also he will eventually become fatigued. Clay Quartermain, a cool card. Whenever you play a minion, gain +1/+1, which I think is pretty cool. Black Widow, shield version. We've got a couple of Black Widows in the set. Stealth, destroy all enemy minions with a cost of 2 or less. So as soon as she comes in, she destroys all small minions. Maria Hill, Battle Cry, draw a card, your shield agents cost 1 less. So just a very resourceful and really good support card. And then Project Insight, inspired by the movie The Winter Soldier. Destroy a minion and all minions with the same name in play or in each player's deck. So it's like a search and destroy kind of card. Sharon Carter, Stealth, and the next spell your opponent plays costs 1 more. So she's just infiltrating and making it difficult for your opponent. Then moving on to Warriors, I've decided to make the Warriors the Masters of Evil, and they are led by Baron Zemo, who's got Battle Cry, gain 1 armor for each other minion on the battlefield. The more the odds are stacked against him, the more ruthlessness he has, and so I signified that by doing that. Then number 5, the Wrecking Crew, really cool card. Battle Cry, destroy all enemy secrets, all enemy minions lose Divine Shield, which is them coming in, wrecking shit up. Cosmic Cube, Battle Cry, give a random minion immune, and Death Rattle, all minions lose immune. So actually I've made a mistake on this card. That should read give a friendly minion immune. But yeah, it's basically saying that you can bring out the 6 mana weapon and have one of your minions be immune, but as soon as you actually attack with the weapon, it is destroyed and your minion loses immune. Boomerang, bit of a joke character, but I've always been quite fond of him. Every time Boomerang takes damage, he gains +1 attack, spell damage +1. So he's kind of throwing boomerangs left, right and centre, and he's helping his allies. Now, I might have costed him quite badly actually. He's 2 mana for a 1/5, which is probably not good, to be honest, or too good rather. Enchantress, every time you cast a spell, deal 3 damage, split amongst all other characters. So this is signifying her really crazy and manic nature. And then we've got spell, Wave of Destruction, deal 1 damage to all minions, give your minions +2 attack. So, powerful card. Next up, Rogues. I decided to make Rogues Marvel Knights. Weapons just made sense, and also I like the border of the cards being a dark colour, with a lot of the Marvel Knights being stealthy and street level characters. So they start off with Spider-Man. Battle Cry, freeze a character, and Death Rattle, freeze a random enemy. So this is obviously signifying his web shooters. Then we got Punisher, Battle Cry, give your weapon +1 attack, obviously makes sense, and he's also got Inspire, using your hero power gives your weapon +1 attack and +1 durability, because Punisher is all about the weapons. Then we got Electro, she's an epic, Stealth, destroy any minion damaged by this minion, and Death Rattle, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. So she is quite a powerful card, she's got a lot of different abilities there, and I just wanted to show that Electro is a very versatile assassin. Jessica Jones, she is a cheap minion, 2, and she has got Divine Shield. At the end of your turn, all enemy minions lost taunt. That should be lose taunt. I do apologise, another mistake. Then we got spell Heroes for Hire. Draw 3 cards. The next Marvel Knights minion you play costs 2 less. So it's basically bringing in the reserves, bringing up the backups. Bringing up the backups, bringing in the backups. Then we got a weapon, Web Shooters. Freeze any character damaged by Web Shooters. Then we move over to the Warlock class, which is Hydra. I thought they were, very self-destructive, so it makes sense that they would be cut off one head and one will grow back kind of thing, or 2 will grow back. I don't even know the bloody slogan. 2 will grow back, and that is damaging yourself, but you get a card. So I thought that was a good way to represent it, and they are led by Baron von Strucker. Battle Cry, draw a card, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions, give a random friendly minion +2 attack. So he's coming in, he's causing a lot of destruction, but he's also rallying his troops and bringing resources with him. Then we've got Spider-Woman, Inspire, deal 1 damage to the enemy hero. So this is her Venom Blasts. Taskmaster, awesome card. He costs 9, he's got 0 and 8, but he's got a special ability. He's got Charge and Battle Cry, gain the combined attack of all enemy minions. So I thought I could do a similar card to like the Faceless Manipulator, but I thought this would just be a cooler way to represent it. He copies the abilities of anyone he can see or view, the fighting style I should say, and what better way to represent that in Hearthstone than him copying every one of the enemies. Then a spell, Hail Hydra, summon 1/1 Hydra agents until your side of the battlefield is full. Then we got Bob, the fan favourite Bob from Deadpool. Whenever you summon a minion, deal 1 damage to your hero and give Bob +1/+1. So Bob gets more powerful, but you are foolish for playing him. Then we've got Batroc the Leaper with a very special ability. He's got Charge, and Batroc the Leaper can attack any enemy characters. Basically, he ignores Taunt, which I thought was a really good way to represent his powers. Then, moving over to Druid, I thought Druid would be the most sensible match for the Guardians of the Galaxy. So what have we got? We've got Star-Lord, Battle Cry, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero, and Inspire, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. So he's just constantly, he's got his objective in mind, and he's going to achieve it no matter what, and he helps to cause damage. Then we've got Gamora, destroy any minion damaged by this minion, so it's just a very capable combatant. Then a really cool card, Groot and Rocket. They've got Charge and Taunt, and Death Rattle, summon 2 1/1 saplings, which I thought was pretty cool for Groot. Then we've got Vance Astro, Taunt, and he's got Inspire, give a random friendly minion Divine Shield, as he passes his shield over to them. Then we've got a really cool card, the Infinity Gauntlet. When this weapon loses 1 durability, gain +1 attack, and Death Rattle, add a random spell to your hand. So I wanted to make it quite a powerful card, so it's got a lot of durability, but as the durability goes down, i.e. the gems, it gains more powerful, becomes more unstable, and of course that's why when it eventually dies, you get some kind of spell out of it. And then Mantis, Battle Cry, silence a minion, and Divine Shield. Then we've got the Shamans, and I thought Shamans should be X-Men, because you can summon a random, in this case it'd be a random X-Man rather than a random totem, but I thought that was a really good way to represent them, because you do get a random mutant of some description. So they're led by Professor Xavier. He's got 0/5, but he's 6 mana, so he must have a cool ability, and it is Battle Cry, summon a random 1-cost X-Men minion, take control of an enemy minion whose cost is 4 or lower. So he can't really do anything himself, but when he comes into play, he brings someone with him, pushing him on his wheelchair, and yeah, I don't know, that might be a bit of an odd power, but or reasoning for the power, maybe offensive, but there we go, that's just happened and I've just said it. Then we've got an absolutely radical Wolverine. He is 7 mana, and he's 2/6, he's got Charge, Wind Fury, Enrage +2 attack, and Death Rattle, summon a 1/1 Wolverine minion with Death Rattle, summon a 1/1 Wolverine minion, which is basically signifying that you just can't bloody kill him. When you kill him, he summons another version of himself, albeit a weakened one, and when that dies, he then summons another one, but again a weakened one, because that final one doesn't have the Death Rattle. It's not an endless loop. Then White Queen, Battle Cry, gain control of an enemy minion with a cost of 3 or less, and Death Rattle, lose control of the minion. Shadowcat, I really was quite happy with how I worded this one. Shadowcat, she's 5 for a 3/3, but she's got Shadowcat cannot be targeted by attacks. So if you can beef her up with some spells, she could become very formidable because she can't be attacked by minions. Then we got Cyclops. He's quite a simple card. He's got Overload 1, and he's got Charge and Wind Fury. So he's not the most powerful of people because there's only a 2/2. But he comes straight into the battlefield and can do 4 damage straight away or take down a number of different targets. So he's shooting individual targets, which I thought was a cool way to represent him. Then they've got a spell, the X-Mansion. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck and add 2 to your hand. All friendly X-Men gain +1/+1. So it's them calling in the recruits and strengthening. Next up, Hunter class is Brotherhood, and they are led by Magneto. He's got Divine Shield, Inspire, Magneto gains Divine Shield. So I thought this was a cool way to show that he's constantly got his magnetic barriers up, and even when he loses them, he can kind of re-power them by being an absolute lad. Sabretooth, he's a 3 for 2/2, but he's got Enrage +2/+2, and whenever a minion dies, gain +1 attack. Bloodthirsty. Then Mystique, Battle Cry, choose an enemy minion with a cost of 4 or less and become a copy of it, and discover a secret. So I wanted her to be more than just a kind of faceless manipulator clone, although she's not quite as powerful one as that. She's like a mid-range one, but she also brings with her the discovering a secret, which I thought was just a cool way to represent her espionage tactics. Savage Land, give all minions in your hand charge. Again, really cool spell. I was quite happy with that. And then Toad, he's a 1 mana minion. Whenever this minion takes damage, randomly deal the same amount of damage split amongst all enemies. So he's vindictive and he's going to get back to anyone who hurts him. So he's going to exact revenge, be it his tongue or leaping around like a madman. Polaris, Inspire, deal 1 damage to a random character. So she's got this ability that can hit anyone basically. Then we move over to the Asgardians, who are Priest. They are led by Thor. He's got Charge and Inspire, deal 1 damage to all enemies. So when he's healing his own troops, he is actually causing an electronic storm to the opponents. Odin, his father. Whenever Odin attacks, all friendly characters gain +1/+1. So this really was the I wanted to show his leadership and his, when he comes into battle, his allies, the people by his side and his army are more than happy to be increased and endure. I'm just saying words that are coming out of my mouth. Ares, he's got Battle Cry. All friendly characters lose Taunt. Ares gains Taunt and +0/+1 for each friendly character that lost Taunt, and he's got Wind Fury. So he's basically an all-round complete lad, and when he comes in, he is the god of war, so he is the one who is going to do all of the fighting and all of the damaging. And if there are minions that you have that have already got Taunt, he is now going to be the new target for the opponent. Beta Ray Bill, at the start of your turn, Beta Ray Bill gains +1 attack, and he's got Inspire, deal Beta Ray Bill's attack value random split amongst all enemies. I wanted to, because it's got such a cool weapon, the Stormbreaker, I really wanted to show an amazing ability for that, and so I think this, with the constant escalation of its power and the fact that it just sparks off and hits enemies each turn, or rather when you use Inspire at least, I just thought it was a really cool way to show it. Lady Sif, she's got Taunt, and as Guardians in your hand cost 1 less. And then we've got a spell for Asgard. Deal 1 damage to all enemies, restore 1 health to all friendly characters. Draw a card. So that's all of the class cards. We're going to move over to the unaffiliated ones now. We've got 2 Scarlet Witch possibilities. I wanted to make them unaffiliated because she has obviously been a member of the Avengers and the Brotherhood, so I wanted you to be able to have either one, even though I have given each of them a tagline. So the Avenger one, I've given each time you use a spell gain +1/+1. She's a very useful card. And then we've got the Brotherhood version, who is 8 mana, a lot more powerful, and each time a spell is played, gain +1/+1. So subtle differences. With the more powerful version, it happens whether you use a spell or whether the opponent uses a spell. And of course I couldn't just have one Spider-Man in the set, so we've got a second Spider-Man. This one can join any team, and of course he's got Inspire, freeze the enemy hero, which is again his web shooters. We got Quicksilver, he's got Charge and Wind Fury. We've got an unaffiliated Nick Fury, he's got Stealth, and when your opponent plays a spell, put a copy in your hand, so he will view the opponent's tactics and copy them. Crossbones, draw a card each time Crossbones takes damage, Death Rattle, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. So this is him just being a complete and utter lad. Then we got Luke Cage. Luke Cage can only take 1 damage at a time from other minions' attacks, and he's got Inspire, heal 1 damage. So he is difficult to kill basically. He doesn't feel pain, he can't take damage, he's got unbreakable skin, so you're going to have to whittle him down, and he's going to make that particularly difficult for you even with his Inspire ability. Then we've got Green Goblin. He's got Charge, Divine Shield, and he's got Battle Cry, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. So he comes in, throws a pumpkin bomb, and he can attack as well. Bullseye, Stealth, Battle Cry, destroy an enemy minion with Taunt. So he's got a very high attack, 7. For a 5 cost card, you know, not very high, but he's got low health, but he has got stealth to help protect him. Then we've got Electro. At the start of your turn, deal 1 damage to all characters. So he is coming into the battlefield fully charged, and he will continue to be that way until he is killed. Then we move into the flagship characters of my set. We've got Thanos. Battle Cry, your opponent discards 2 random cards, and Inspire, your opponent discards a random card. So he's really hard, he's got a really nasty ability, and he can literally mince through your opponent's cards, so your opponent is going to want to get rid of him really quickly. When we've got a gold super duper mega awesome Wolverine, at the start of your turn restore Wolverine to full health, at the end of your turn restore Wolverine to full health. So yeah, I just really love the idea of this card. He's got regeneration, and whether he's attacking or whether your opponent's attacking him, he's going to be healing, so he needs to be dealt with quickly and swiftly, which is the same meaning. Thor! Battle Cry, discover an Avenger. It costs 2 less. So he comes in, but he brings an Avenger with him. Then we've got Hulk. Taunt, each time Hulk takes damage, gain +1/+1. Enrage, gain +1 attack at the end of each turn. So when he's taking damage, he's gonna grow and grow in attack. And of course he's got Taunt, and he's just gonna be an absolute lad. Then we've got Sentinel. He's got Taunt and Divine Shield to show his stature and durability. And he's got Sentinel costs 1 less for each X-Men and Brotherhood minion in play. So he's going to seek and destroy the mutants, and that is how I've represented him. So similar to the Giants in Hearthstone. And then last but by no means least is our final card of the set. It's Fin Fang Foom, and his ability is Fin Fang Foom damages all enemy minions when he attacks. So he's absolutely colossal, and he's not going to miss basically. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I have already started a kind of expansion set for this Marvel Hearthstone. Please let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this video, because I'd love to do more, and do you have any ideas, or would you have done anything differently? Thanks for watching, everyone, and subscribe for more videos.